Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, Revenue and Customs clears air on plastic bag levy. National AM radio service to boost reach. And weight restrictions still in place for Bridge.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
All businesses are required under the Environment and Climate Adaptation Act to charge the plastic bag levy of 10 cents if they have a computerized register capable of recording the levy. Those without a computerized register to record the levy are not to charge for plastic bags. Maggie Boyle reports.
To pay or not to pay. Since the plastic bag levy came into effect 2 days ago, there's been some confusion.
It's not good. Because we have to pay 10 cents, that's nothing much, can't say much.
I think it's not good because people come in, the service has to be provided. If they want us to buy the items from the shop, they have to provide the bags and all.
The Fiji Revenue and Customs Service has clarified that businesses should not be charging customers unless they have an electronic point-of-sale system to record and reconcile the plastic bag levy. Not all businesses should be charging the plastic bag levy. Here at the market, for example, there's no 10 cents charge on these plastics. CEO for Revenue and Customs Viswanath Das further says the plastic bag levy is paid by the consumer but collected by the business for remittance to the government. FBC News spoke to a few people to get their take on the new levy.
Obviously, it is an additional cost to the consumer. But plastic-wise, yeah, I think it's a good idea.
It's much more cheaper so that we can save more plastics.
But I was not prepared for not without the plastic. So I was hoping that they would give some brown paper bag.
More than $94 million in revenue is expected from the plastic bag and environment and climate adaptation levies to be used for environmental projects. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The Fiji Broadcasting Corporation, in conjunction with the government, will launch its newly revamped national AM radio services next week. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama says the launch will see 100% coverage of the two radio stations, Radio Fiji 1 and Gold, to the whole of Fiji, inclusive of the Lao Group. Sainyan Boiler reports.
The newly revamped AM radio network will be up and running from next week.
And AM. Radio Fiji 1 and Gold FM will be transmitted at all hours of the day and AM frequencies to the Lao Group, bringing regular programs, informations on government services and initiatives to critical emergency information in times of crisis.
FBC Chief Executive Riaz Sayed Qayyum says the AM radio service has deteriorated over the last decade, but now with the close collaboration of the Fijian and the Japanese government, the service will be up by next week, bigger and better.
Now we have a new revamped and refurbished and practically new, or absolutely new AM service in which we will have two radio stations capability, and this is thanks to the government of Japan and our Prime Minister, who helped ABC facilitate our request with the Japanese government.
With AM technology and infrastructure more robust than FM infrastructure, the new service is expected to withstand future cyclone, as the old tower have done in the past. The past AM coverage was confined to Radio Fiji 1 in the Itaukei and Radio Fiji 2 in Hindi, but this is now going to change.
We lost one of the transmitters about 7 years ago, or 6 years ago, and that was when we switched off Radio Fiji 2. We've decided to continue with Radio Fiji 1, of course, for obvious reasons, but instead of Radio Fiji 2, we're going to be putting Gold on the other AM signal.
The official opening of the new AM site at Naulu outside Suva will be done by the Prime Minister next Friday. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
The weight limit of the Tamavoi Y Bridge remains at 32 tonnes. FRA General Manager Network Operations and Maintenance Aram Goes is pleading with those involved in heavy transport to comply with the law and follow the weight limit. Overloading damages road infrastructure and the maintenance cost taxpayers $50 million annually.
The Tamavoi Y Bridge is currently under a 32-tonne weight limit, and we are working with our ministry on options, including international funding agencies, about how we can provide in the near future a new bridge through that section to help heavy haulage and the industry, commercial industry in general, to move freight around Fiji better.
A former employee of the Fijian Teachers Association, who was charged with allegedly defrauding the FTA office, appeared in the Singatoka Magistrates Court. Mereseni Mbulewa, 36 years old, is alleged to have obtained more than $19,000 in March this year while she was employed there. She was in custody, but the court released her on a bail bond with the sum of $1,500 with one surety. Her case will be recalled on the 16th of this month. Still to come, sugar farmers get insurance payout. And Sangam community celebrates contribution.
Moala radada ranavika, o tikongona taunu Singatoka, ando talitaka na wakaronga ng Bull FM, number 2 na sere.
Ya dora subuni kurnambili. Borani buat sekarang hambara binaranga. Total takin na warong ng Bull FM. Number 2 en sere. Bula!
Bull FM number 2 en sere.
The first benefit of the sugarcane farmers insurance scheme has been paid out. Avinash Chetty of Tavor was amongst the recipients after the death of his late mother Dan Lachmi Chetty, who was a cane farmer.
It was a relief for the family of the late Dan Lachmi Chetty after they received the payout. Something to start all over.
It's really sad that we just lost our mum, and my dad was a farmer, and he worked so hard through his whole entire life. And I think it's a really good thing from the government that we're getting this beneficiary support.
The Fiji Sugar Corporation has been working on this scheme with the Sugarcane Growers Fund, the Fiji Sugarcane Growers Council and stakeholders to assist cane farmers. Farmers have been encouraged to join the scheme.
It's another kind of help for the needy people. So when the family is really in the need of money, when there is funeral, this scheme covers for it. It's an insurance scheme, and I've heard good feedback that it is a dream come true for a lot of farmers.
And I think the growers are very fortunate because this was not there before, and this is something here today. And I would like to pass this message to the growers. Please, we are with you, and we will be with you.
The growers are very, very happy with this scheme from the time this was started. This is a great help for the farmers, and we urge all the farmers in the country to join this scheme.
The insurance provider FijiCare says $1,000 was given to the family members yesterday, and another $3,000 will be paid out once the death certificate is produced.
The scheme is $1 a week is a scheme from each grower, and that entitles them to $10,000 worth of cover. $1,000 for a funeral benefit, $3,000 for a death benefit, $3,000 if the house burns, and $1,000 for personal accident cover.
The council urges farmers to come forward to be insured. For just $1 a week, they don't have to pay any premium. Rapata Valimei, FBC News.
TISI Sangam Fiji celebrated Sadhu Kapuswami Day in Suva last night to mark the contributions its founders made in developing the country and its citizens. National President Sadasivan Naikar says the organization has helped in maintaining their cultural identity and assisted hundreds of children within the education sector.
No one can discount the contributions of our founding fathers, of our educational institutions, without which the earlier generations of our people would have remained illiterate.
Miss Bula 2017 is banking on the support of the people of Nandi for her next level of pageant. 18-year-old Ashika Menon, sponsored by Fiji Broadcasting Corporation, will represent the town of Nandi at the Miss Fiji pageant towards the end of this year. Menon was one of the chief guests at the Sadhu Kupaswamy Day at Nandi Sangam College yesterday, the school she attends as a Year 13 student. She encourages young girls who are thinking of joining the Bula Festival next year to give it a try and advises them not to have self-doubt but to believe in themselves.
And I stand before you all crowned as your Nandi Bula Queen for the year 2017. And I will be representing Nandi at the Miss Fiji pageant this year. I am looking forward to all your support, your encouragement and your enduring words of encouragement towards my participation at the Miss Fiji pageant.
Creating awareness on how to detect cancer symptoms at early stages will be the main focus of Walk On Walk Strong initiative this year. The exercise was launched this morning and funds collected will go towards treatments, transportations as well as medication for the patients. The general support from Fijians are needed for the benefit of more than 200 children who are suffering from this life-threatening disease. According to WOW's team leader Viola Lessie, it's important for parents to be aware of cancer symptoms and contribute of every dollar counts.
These signs or these early signs, these are relatively common signs, like vomiting, high temperature, child losing their appetite. But if it goes on for a continuous period of time, then that is a problem. When you have those symptoms at a prolonged period of time, then that is a problem. You will need to present your child to the hospital because, because for child cancer or any chronic disease for that matter, early detection is the best protection.
Turning to world news, U.S. President Donald Trump is rolling out a new legislation that aims to curb the level of legal immigration into the United States by proposing a skills-based immigration system. This will include tightening those who have relied on green cards to move to the States. Ahead in sports with Jamie, the latest from the Kachi Rugby, but up next, Rachel with the latest in business.
Thank you, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Revenue and Customs clear the air on vehicles. And in growing Fiji, Elections Office expands to new story. Stay with us.
I'm under of Nayabu whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Tano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. Leading business tonight. Importation of all used and second-hand vehicles are subjected to import license in accordance with customs regulation administered by Revenue and Customs. Any breach or non-compliance to the regulation will be subjected to detention of the vehicle under the Customs Act. All second-hand unleaded or diesel vehicles should be of Euro 4 standard and not more than 5 years old from the year of manufacture. All second-hand liquid petrol gas, compressed natural gas, solar-powered, electric and all hybrid vehicles should be of Euro 4 standard and not more than 8 years from the year it was assembled. The importation of vehicles which are non-compliant to these conditions will be banned in the country. It will be seized at the border for destruction or re-exported at the importer's cost. And now it's time for Elizabeth from HFC Bank to join us with the latest from the markets.
Good evening. U.S. President Donald Trump has signed into law new sanctions against Russia. As a result, Moscow has retaliated, saying the Trump administration's action will generate a full-scale trade war. In the midst of all this, the Dow Jones average has again broken its own record this year due to Apple Incorporated's impressive quarterly results. Yesterday, the average rose above 22,000 for the first time in its 121-year history. The S&P 500 index gained 0.05%, supported by upbeat earnings and rising expectations that the U.S. Federal Reserve's policy tightening will slowly move ahead. Meanwhile, Australia's trade balance for the month of June has been released, and it was worse than expected. This was a factor in the Australian dollar weakening by 0.5%. Vinaka.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Looking at today's exchange rates, the Fijian dollar weakened against the Chinese yuan and the American dollar to close at 3.27 and 48 cents respectively. Closer to home, the Australian and New Zealand dollars weakened, closing at 63 cents and 65 cents, while the PNG kina strengthened, closing at 1.31. As for the commodities market, oil prices closed at $49.51 a barrel. Gold closed at $1,279 an ounce, and silver rose to close at $17.57 an ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, the Fijian Elections Office opened another branch in Nausori today. This branch will be looking after the entire Eastern Division as well as areas such as the Tavua and Rakiraki. The branch will be looking after 411 polling venues, which will be around 900 polling stations. Electoral Commission Chair Suresh Chandra says the Eastern Division the Eastern Office will also be covering Rotuma. Chandra says similar offices will be opened in Lambasa and in Nandi in due course.
Since we are based next to the Land Transport Authority and other necessary government services such as birth, deaths and marriages office, I believe that the positioning of the Voter Services Center is ideal and will be handy to all Fijians who are affected in this area.
And that's a wrap from business this evening. Now to the latest in sports. Here's Jamie.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. Coming up, Suva's preparations on track for Fairbrother defence. And under-19 cricketers off to win World Cup spot. This and more after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकु रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ. मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1. इट्स सो हॉट.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट.
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेकी से. मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट. आई लव मिर्ची एफएम.
हमें स्पिन टको ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे.
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट.
Suva's build-up for its defence of the HFC Fairbrother Trophy this week had been overshadowed by the protests following its last match. However, with the matter in question laid to rest yesterday, Suva is expected to come out firing against Namosi tomorrow. Vastil Prasad reports.
The holders have been forced to make 6 changes to its starting team, but the Fiji Rugby Union is anticipating nothing short of champagne rugby between the two teams.
A battle of the neighbours. I know most of the two teams have prepared well. Because after each win would be on a high, and Namosi after reaching the final and losing, I think have a point to prove.
Namosi will not be a pushover as the side proved its worthiness by reaching the final of the Skipper Cup last month.
Namosi players have been playing for Namosi for some time. They reached the final, unfortunately lost out, and I think they have a point to prove and give back something to their supporters come the end of the day.
Suva captain John Stewart believes defending the coveted silverware will be tough.
Always easy to challenge. Toughest thing is to defend. And we know Namosi will become prepared, so we will be working as twice as we thought of this week.
Suva plays Namosi 5 p.m. at Ratu Dakambau Park tomorrow. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Rugby Union is urging fans to come out in numbers to witness Navasa take on Rewa in the HFC Bank Ratu Chasai Vorenge Bainimarama Shield Challenge on Saturday. The last time the two teams met was in the Vanua Cup final when Navasa were victors 33-20 FRU Chief Executive John O'Connor believes Rewa will be hungry for retribution and will provide a stiff challenge for shield holder Navosa.
Navosa, the Bainimarama shield challenge has been very close. It's all gone down to the wire in the last 3 challenges. The level of the game in the challenges have lifted. I think both teams have a point to prove.
The Lions couldn't be happier with the home advantage as they chased their first Super Rugby crown against the Crusaders this weekend. Once the easy beats of the competition, now history suggests they're in the box seat to win their first title. The 2017 Galaxy Kachi Rugby competition has been boosted with $120,000 in sponsorship from Rewa Dairy Limited. With the growing tournament just around the corner, officials and players believe this year's event will be bigger and better. Eroni Tuinuku reports.
The main objective of this tournament is to focus on grassroots rugby.
Even though the main objective for the players now is participation and enjoyment, eventually these players will one day become our national representatives once most of them take the sport seriously and really go into furthering their career in rugby.
The financial support shows the concern of the sponsor in improving the standard of rugby.
Coming from the kids, the parents of Fiji, and rugby being the national sport of Fiji, I think this is a great grassroots for everyone in Fiji.
Young rugby star Asesela Rawowo believes this year's competition will be tough.
We've been waiting for this tournament to wish them all the best.
With 19 districts partaking in this tournament, this year's Kachi Rugby is believed to be more exciting. The game is scheduled to kick off on the 17th to the 19th of this month at the ANZ Stadium. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Under-19 cricket side departs tomorrow with the aim to qualify for the World Cup in New Zealand next year. Part of the team is one player who has travelled halfway around the world to represent his country. Eroni Tuinuku reports.
Final goodbyes for this youngster whose family is synonymous with sports in Fiji. His dad, Charlie Charters, being involved in rugby and also a former journalist.
It's an amazing feeling, really. I remember when I was about 16 years old when I first got the call up, and I took it with open arms. I'd absolutely love to sort of represent the country that I've lived in for so many years, and that my mother and her entire side of the family is from. So it means the absolute world to me to be able to wear this crest on my shirt and be able to sort of give back to the country.
Skipper Tua Yambaki believes his team have what it takes to win the tournament and earn a spot for the world event.
There's a lot of young boys and they are experienced. They learn very fast and they are in good talent in the cricket. We are looking forward to win the qualification in Samoa so we can qualify in New Zealand for the next World Cup on January next year.
Months of commitment and sacrifice, the Fiji Under-19 cricket side have only one aim in Samoa, which is to win the qualifiers. The first match is against Papua New Guinea next Tuesday. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
The AFL Fiji Tribe team is ready to give France a good run when they meet in its first pool match of the International Cup on Saturday in Melbourne. Coach Simon Highfield says despite the early setback of gaining financial support, the team managed to work with the limited resources available. Highfield adds he has full confidence his players will deliver. The Fiji men's team that departed for Australia yesterday will face France, New Zealand, South Africa and Great Britain in Pool A.
We're versing France in the first game, and that's going to be a really good test for us, and it'll show us where we're at as a team and also in comparison to the rest of the world.
The two-week competition runs from Saturday. The Sambeto Roosters Rugby League team is ready to give it their all when it competes in the Vodafone Cup final on Saturday. The Roosters will take on the Rabo Rabo Rabbitohs, who are laced with reps from the Fiji resident side.
The boys are really looking forward to it. We are going to play on Saturday as underdogs, as from our brothers, the Rabo Rabo Rabbitohs. They are very experienced players playing for them.
That's it from sports this evening. Angie joins you later on with weather. And in the world of the weird and the wonderful, a look at the song that's gripping the world and that I've heard being played a few too many times for my liking. I never thought I'd have to say this, but stay tuned to catch Despacito after the break.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola ndo tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw ko yazo sila tali, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali taki yang gitu Venezuela, nagunto rongo, varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.
New media Motorola's Moto Z2 Force has a screen that won't crack when you drop it. It also includes powerful hardware specs and a dual camera on the back. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. We had another marvelous sunny day across most of Fiji. Well, the sun made everything just lively and fresh. Looking at the west, sunny periods was the order of the day. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, sunshine was amazing with mild temps. And up in Vanuatu, winds were quite light but the sun was too bright. At sea, east to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. And for the tides, low tide tonight will be at 9:43 with a high tide tomorrow morning at 3:56. The beautiful sunrise will be at 6:34. For tomorrow, strap yourself in to a start of a great sunny weekend. Tomorrow's temps, Suva will be the coolest at 28 degrees. And looking further on to Saturday, sunny, dry and warm weather is in store for us. Great time to do what you love the most. And that, Jackie, wraps up our FBC weather for tonight.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fijian Pulse today we asked, what do you think of Nandronga's decision despite winning its protest to let Suva keep the Fairbrother trophy?
It shows that Nandronga is a real champ. That's why they are so good in their decision making.
Well, I think that's a right decision. It's a gentleman decision. That's also the champion decision. It's always, Nandronga is always like that. So whenever, anytime they can challenge back and return the cup back to Nandronga.
I think Nandronga just wanted to show the Suva side that rugby rules should always be followed when playing on the field.
For me, Nandronga just proved that they are the true champions and they wanted to show Suva that there's rules that should be followed.
Recapping the main stories tonight, Revenue and Customs clears air on plastic bag levy, national AM radio service to boost reach, and weight restrictions still in place for Bridge. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, should people who commit infanticide be severely punished? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day is from Raki Raki, sent in by Netani Bakani. This is the sunrise at the Vitawa village in the province of Ra. Shows the beauty of the daily surroundings of Ra. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us by Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, good night.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola ndo tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw ko yazo sila tali, nagurara may nawamanyi, Nandronga. Gitu tali taki yang gitu Venezuela, nagunto rongo, varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.